Aquarius, hi, welcome to my channel. This is Starchaeology Tarot. I am Desi. I am thrilled and honored and privileged to get to read your cards for you for this May Aquarius reading. This is good for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm looking for messages that empower you, Aquarius. So much about what you create, what you invoke into your present reality, what you manifest depends on your mindset, what you believe about your situation, what you believe about yourself. I don't take the responsibility lightly as a reader, and I'm really seeking to help frame every truth, every reflection about your current situation in a way that makes you feel empowered, strengthened, and hopeful. Because there is nothing, I believe, that has a greater impact on your future than you. So let's take a moment and call in your guides, your spirit guides, your ascended masters, angels and archangels. What are the messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Of the collective today, this sacred chosen collective. What are all the messages for each of them? Some of this will resonate, Aquarius, and some of it won't. Only take what resonates with you. That's what's meant for you. What are the messages for Aquarius? Knight of Cups, Aquarius. Ace of Wands. The Chariot. Wow. Aquarius, you are full of ideas. You are full of creative inspiration. You feel, right now, your inner world is so rich in a way that is incredibly incongruous with your outer world. It's like your inner world is richer than your outer world. And that is, by the day, the longer that inaction continues, the wider this gap becomes between your inner world, your outer world, and that ends up feeling like conflict in your life. If any of you feel almost like you're moving through life with this kind of sense of conflict that's just like vague, and you're like, why? What am I in conflict about? What is? Why do I feel not in alignment? It could be because your outer world is not matching the inner world that you want, fantasize about, or even just like, let's just say, have created in your dreams. Maybe the version of yourself that you have created, that you've become on the inside, is not reflected in how you present in the outside. So that could be that kind of conflict. Knight of Cups is someone who is just so I want to say ambitious in that dream, in the dreams that they have, in the emotional, imaginative, creative adventure that they have taken on, that they're going to embark on. But it is a very passive night. It runs the risk of being lost in flights of fancy rather than fantasy. Fantasy is something that is important. It can be an important compass because it's rooted in desire. But then flights of fancy, that's different. It's like sometimes we engage with an idea that maybe compromises who we are in a way. Like a fantasy, you know, I want this, I dream about this for myself. But a flight of fancy is something that is so not rooted in any reality, any truth about who we are, that it actually would compromise something about ourselves. It's like kind of it's impossible in its nature in that way. And sometimes we think we desire things because we see other people desiring them. We see them in, you know, having some sort of value in our society, even though they are out of alignment with ourselves. Those are things I would call flights of fancy, as opposed to fantasies, which come from the deepest part of ourselves, our deepest desires, our deepest truths. Those things go hand in hand. So it could be that some of you, you know, you're having real fantasies, but you're just lost in those fantasies and you're unable to execute, you're unable to take action. Others of you, part of the reason you're unable to take action is because it's not really fantasy that you're engaged with. It's not really your true desires. It's desires of others that you've adopted or that you think are yours, but they're really not. They don't actually come from this most authentic, truthful part of you. They come from some outward force. The biggest obstacle is starting. The Ace of Wands, I mean, that's the obstacle here. So there is this, the obstacle is beginning. The obstacle is, even though some of you feel very creative, you feel emotional, you feel like emotionally full, let's call it, you're unsure what that first step is. It's almost like the adventure feels so big, you don't know where to begin. It's like, I know what the whole adventure is. I know what the fantasy is. But it feels so overwhelming. It's grown so big that I don't know where it starts. It's like a maze. I don't know where that first step is. I don't know what that first spark of inspiration is. And I'm having a hard time even connecting to my gut about what that is. Like I can't find my own gut impulse in this, because the heart has actually like hijacked everything here. It's like the, you know, creative heart, emotions, imagination, the imaginative heart, let's call it, is such a driving force here. It's swept you up in the fantasy, and really your feet are no longer on the ground. There's no grounding in instinct for you, in gut reaction, gut response, gut feeling. Very different from heart feeling. So that's what I'm seeing you struggle with, Aquarius. What is the antidote to this? The Chariot, which some of you are not going to like this. I feel that very strongly right now. It's not about decoding what the right first step is. It's not about decoding, or it's not about waiting for the inspiration to come to you in this case. Like figuring out what my first step is, well, I'll wait until I'm inspired, and then that inspiration is the gut response that I know is my first step. You're too lost in the fantasy right now. The adventure is too big. The inner world is too full and complex for you to wait for that first step to present itself, that inspiration to present itself. So at this point, what you need to do is simply decide. You need to exercise willpower, which is the masculine form of strength in tarot. It's a show of strength, and you can only exhibit willpower through action. It isn't the kind of inner strength that nobody else sees. Willpower is always reflective in our outward environment. Whether you're refraining from something or whether you're committing to something, a routine, a daily practice, whatever it is, it is easy to witness. it might feel like this Chariot, you might feel like you are having to make a decision where you're holding like opposites together. It's just like, how am I gonna, I'm gonna do this, but it's like gonna feel impossible to do it. It doesn't matter. It's willpower. It's the willpower to do it that determines whether or not you can do it. It's not inspiration. It's not having the right idea. It's not taking the right first step. It's not figuring something out. It's just deciding, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna do that and put my mind to that and get it done. Once you're able to pick your direction, you'll get to the destination you're supposed to get to. You just need to start heading in a direction, because that's what will move you forward. Even if you feel like it's wrong, you take the wrong direction to get to the right direction. Sometimes you got to take a few steps in the wrong way in order to realize you're going the wrong way, recalibrate, and then you have more information than you did before you started. Without having the willpower to make a decision, to just go, to start moving, doing, you could end up spinning your wheels for a lot longer, Aquarius. So this is ultimately saves you time. It saves you energy. It saves you resources. And I think this is about sending out a message to the universe. This is about you claiming what's yours. That is so much about will. That's deciding, I deserve this, I'm doing this, I've earned this. There's decision on your part instead of waiting for something to come to you or happen to you. You don't need to have the whole journey plotted. You don't need to know the exact route to this destination. You just need to know the first step. You just need to decide to take the first step and know what the end may be like. Oh, like I want to be here. I don't have the specifics, but this is the world I've dreamed up for myself. This is the fantasy I've dreamed up. That's your destination. Having that in mind, setting that intention, that firm intention, and having the willpower to get there, is what moves you through the journey. It's what will show you the steps, but there needs to be some give and take. There needs to be some deciding, at least right now at this stage, about that first step for other steps to reveal themselves, if that makes sense. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you in your life, Aquarius, so feel free to comment below and share. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I am completely dependent on your support. It means so much to me, and it really, really helps. Please share this channel. Share it with someone struggling right now who needs support. That's why I do this. And if you'd like to help me help you better, if you want to see daily readings, moon transit readings, love readings, career readings, more specific, pick a pile readings, please consider signing up to be a patron on my Patreon in the link below. You can support this work for just a few dollars a month and get a lot of bonus goodies at the same time. I love you very much, Aquarius. As always, I'm rooting for you. I hope you have the most wonderful, magical May. Decide what you're doing. Decide where you're going. And trust that exhibit of willpower will give you what you need, will direct you where you need to go. I'll see you next time.